Now the pendulum on a clock has a natural frequency. Anything. Now you can change the natural frequency by two things. You can increase the mass, that'll slow it down, lower the natural frequency, or you can decrease the mass and that will speed things up. The other way, you can make it stiffer. If you make it stiffer, it will increase the natural frequency, raise it. If you make it less stiff, it will reduce the natural frequency, such as the pendulum. This is what makes a clock keep the proper time. If you shorten it, make it stiffer, it swings faster. So the way you regulate a clock is simple. You take the mass of the pendulum and raise it to make it run faster, or you lower it to make it run slower until you get it exactly where you want it, and you just leave it there. And the natural frequency of that system is compatible with the clock, and you keep perfect time. In the case of a steering column, we're always worried about steering wheel shake. Now the cars you drive, none of the steering wheels shake, I guarantee you, because they've been properly engineered. But a steering column is mounted at the toe board, and then it's mounted at the lower reinforcement of the instrument panel, and then a rather heavy steering wheel and horn mechanism, and now airbag, sits out here, cantilevered out on that column. And you don't want it to go into resonance and start dancing around while you're going down the road and hitting a few bumps. So we do two things. We make the steering wheel, we reduce the mass as much as we can, and we make the column as stiff as we can. We drive the stiffness up and the natural frequency up high enough to where the normal driving inputs will not excite it. It won't put it into resonance. When something shakes at its natural frequency, we call that resonance. Years ago there was a bridge over the Narrows River or valley where it's a suspension bridge that was built, and they thought they had protected against the high winds. What they didn't realize is that the winds were high enough and the natural frequency of the bridge was low enough to where they coincided, and it set the bridge in resonance. And they have films of this with cars falling off and everything. People had time to run off and get off the bridge, I believe. But the thing just tore itself up because it got into resonance and there was nothing to dampen it out. When soldiers years ago used to march wherever they'd go, they would march in cadence, all in step, and if that frequency of their marching matched the natural frequency of a bridge they were crossing, the bridge would go into resonance and collapse. So to prevent any danger there, the armies would break cadence and march randomly so that they wouldn't excite any bridges they would cross. So before they'd cross a bridge, they would get out of cadence and walk across the bridge.